As the seasons change, so should your home. Now that spring has sprung, it's time to add some vibrance and newness to your living spaces. This morning, I'm joined by Alejandro González, owner of Tlazo Home, to share some tips on how to get your spring home in the summer spirit. Hi, how are you?
Hey, how are you, Paige?
This is so great. I love the fact that these seasons are changing, even though it's a little cool outside. We're in spring.
We are,
and our home should reflect that,
exactly.
I think. Okay,
yes.
So tell me a little bit about Tlazo. Tell me about what that even means.
Yeah, so Tlazo itself, the word, it's a Nahuatl word. So Nahuatl is a language that's spoken in, was spoken by the Aztecs or the Mexica people, and it's still spoken today. It's a native tongue to Mexico.
It's a native tongue, okay.
Yeah, and it means precious or dear, and it's also the root word for gratitude and love. So when you say Tlazo Home, you're saying my precious home or my dear home, or I'm thankful for my home.
I love that sentiment.
Thank you.
And it really should, our home really should reflect who we are.
It really should.
And it's so easy to also reflect the surroundings and the season. Let's talk a little bit about some of the colors that you're seeing as far as trends.
Perfect, yes. So I don't know about y'all at home, but for me, trends can be a little overwhelming.
Yes.
There's so many of them, they're always changing. But one thing that I can get behind on is the use of color. And color's a little bit more intentional now. It's not like about what's in, what's not. It's what makes you happy and what looks good, like with you or like your skin tone. And so what I'm seeing a lot though, I am seeing a trend of green and yellow coming up. That combination, remember the back in the day? Yes, I love green and yellow, and it can get a little acid, but at the same time it can get very, very happy as well. It just depends on the tones that you use.
And the way that you've set this up is that we've kind of gone from living room through our dining area on. I want to start with the living room. I notice that you have some basics here.
I do.
Some foundational colors. And then you've just kind of essentially built upon those foundational colors.
Exactly, yes. Like for example, we have this gorgeous pillow that's hand woven in Guatemala by artisans. And it's just a beautiful, fun pattern. But the great thing about this, they're still doing it in a very traditional way, but it's a modern contemporary colorway. And I love to use a solid to sort of ground the pillow, and so your eye can have something to sort of rest on.
Right.
Yeah, so it won't be just
and these
too
are
overwhelming.
These are kind of solid colors that you can have year round.
Exactly.
But depending on the season, you add this pop of color.
You just add the pops, add the textures, add the patterns.
And I love the fact that your heritage has been incorporated into that. And we're seeing that here too with this very vibrant, it just makes me happy looking at it.
The table setting?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I love this. So the table runner is a paisley from the Bendit Company, and they're a wonderful company here in Dallas, woman-owned. And I love that it's so fun and modern. I paired that with this natural woven placemat from Mexico. And the dishes are handmade in Italy.
Oh my gosh, you really have brought a world into this whole equation.
I think that culture is so important.
So let's move on here. I want to make sure we can get to as much as we possibly can.
Yes,
you have some other beautiful pieces. Up to me, they speak to heritage pieces, as well as you've got tapestries too. Tell me, what inspired you to do these different types of pieces from different parts of the world?
Yeah, well, I was working for a showroom here in Dallas for a while. The name of it is Holly Hunt, and I was the rep to Mexico. So I was going there a lot. I was raised here in Dallas, but when I was going there, I started realizing that there was a lot more to my culture that I was not aware of. And so I decided that, you know what, this would be a great opportunity for me to bring my culture into the States and just really show it off. And maybe there's other people like me who want to know a little bit more.
I think that's such a great idea. And I love seeing some of these images. These are taken from your travels?
Yes, that's actually in Spain there. I kind of go all over the place and
I love it.
Travel.
Let's talk about tapestries, because I remember, I'm old enough to remember when tapestries were really in, like in the 80s and early 90s.
Yes.
And now they're kind of having a renaissance.
Yeah, they are. I mean, the 90s are coming back. And so even in
like it or not, people.
Yeah, they're coming back. But the thing about the tapestries is that I feel like we're in a society where everything's so fast, lots of in and outs. So people are wanting something that's a little bit more stable, right? And what's more stable and more timeless than a tapestry? They've been around since ancient Egypt.
And I love this too.
And that's from Gracie. That's a walker ring. Like people could use that around for their entire walls, or you could just buy a panel.
My grandmother had something like this in her dining room.
Oh, wow.
And so it brings back a lot of memories, So she was decorating that probably in the 1950s, 1960s.
Really? Oh, gosh. That's a really beautiful time to decorate.
You really have incorporated your heritage. Tell me where people can find you.
So I'm located at 411 North Tyler Street in in Dallas, Texas. It's in the Oak Cliff neighborhood of Dallas. And you can also find me on Instagram at _Tlazo_home and on my website, tlazohome.com.
I've had a blast.
Thank you so much.
Oh
my gosh, yes! I want to hug you.
Come on, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yes.
Thanks, Alejandro.
Thank you, Paige. I appreciate it. Thank you.